Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Mets Central. This is the post-game show, man. We're going to discuss today's doubleheader split with the Mets and the Phillies at Citi Field. Game 1 and Game 2. Going to discuss it all, man. But before I get started, like always, I appreciate you guys. Drop a like. Make sure you comment down below. Give me your thoughts. What are your thoughts on today's games and where we stand and what we need to do to get better, especially offensively? I would love to interact with you guys and get your feedback on that. And, of course, if you have not as of yet, become a part of the community here at Met Central. Make sure you subscribe before you go. Thank you for stopping by. And also don't forget to put on that bell icon, that notification bell. You put that on, turn that on, so this way when I post up any videos, you'll be able to get that information, the videos right directly to you right away. All right. So here we are. We finished the game. We finished 2 games today. Me as a fan, not too pleased. It was exciting for us to make that comeback in the first game of the doubleheader. I'm not too thrilled with the way the offense is at this point in time, and then not to even generate any offense against Moore, the pitcher for Philadelphia in the second game, was definitely a little disappointing as well, and we weren't able to win that game, and we had opportunities to. So we're going to discuss all that. We're going to go with Game 1. Let's look at the final lines first for Game 1. Game 1, the final score was 2-1 Mets. We pulled it out in extra innings on the 8th inning. We had 2 runs on 4 hits, no errors. Philadelphia finished with 1-3-2. I mean, obviously not an offensive game whatsoever for both teams. Taijuan Walker, Seth Lugo got the win. He pitched that 1 inning, 1.5 innings or whatever. He got one. He got the win. He's 1-0. Walker pitched 5 innings. I felt that he could have gone a little bit more. He was solid. He pitched well. He pitched well enough to win. Just unfortunately, on the other side of the field, he was dealing with a guy who was just a wrecking machine today in Aaron Nola. We're going to get to him in a moment. But Taijuan Walker, 5 innings pitched, 1 run, 3 hits, 1 base on ball, 5 Ks. All very reasonable. 68 68 pitches. He threw about 44 of them for strikes, so he only had 24 balls. He finished with an earned run average of 2.38, so he's been steady at that 2.5 or lower per game, and this is just going to improve his numbers. His earned run average obviously did drop a few points at 2.38. Miguel Castro came in. He pitched 1 1/3 innings. He definitely struggled. He did have that first inning he pitched was not too bad. Did miss a few pitches there. He finished with 25 pitches. He only had 11 of those go for strikes. So he definitely was off in his command and control of his pitches today. He had 3 base on balls and 1 K. So he struggled. Earned run average got a little bit of a tick up or it to 2.84. Then Drew Smith came in. We definitely gave him relief. Got the 2 fly balls to center field. He did that 2/3 of an inning. Finished perfect with a 3.31 earned run average. No runs, no hits, no nothing. Seth Lugo came in, pitched that 1 inning, got the 3 Ks, 1 base on balls. 14 pitches, 12 of them for strikes for Seth, and his earned run average is at 2.61. So, again, solid. What more can I say about the pitching? Man, I've said it already in the previous videos. I'm going to keep saying it until I see some improvement in offense. But this team, first sign of defense, I'm always going to say it, is pitching, all right? Pitching is the catalyst to getting everything going, because when a pitcher is on and he has control and command of his pitches, he's locating, he's making the proper pitches to the right hitters, he's going to get those easy ground balls, he's going to get strikeouts, and now obviously if you get a lot of strikeouts like DeGrom does, or in this case tonight, in that first game, Aaron Nola was really just shutting us down. His defense is just back there just waiting for something to happen, and they're just basically watching this magic in front of them. And that's the key, and that's important. So pitching is very important, and this team is being carried all season long thus far with the pitching staff. But my concerns is, will they be able to sustain this for a long period of time? That's the scary part. We just don't know. We don't know if we get one more guy with another injury, another guy here with another injury, and then we don't know where we might be. Our offense seems to not be consistent. I haven't seen much of a change at all. They got rid of the hitting coach in Chili Davis. They got this other guy in there. I mean, I'm ready to give them a call and see if they want to hire me, and I'll do it for free for a little while. But these guys got to hit. Their whole approaches sometimes are just a little off. I have not seen them be consistent with the hitting. We're slowly but surely getting some guys back. We got Conforto back. We got McNeil, but we're going to talk about them in a moment when we get to hitting. But let's get to the finish up with the pitching. So my final thoughts on the pitching: solid performance by the pitching staff. Hey, MVPs of the game, period. You know, they're holding the fort. They're keeping teams in check, and they're giving our offense an opportunity to put up enough runs to win games. If they're holding opponents down to 1 or 2 runs, man, Come on, guys, get your act together. We got to manufacture damn runs. We got to score more than 2 fucking runs a game. It's just getting to the point where it's getting ridiculous. We're not getting enough runs. So I don't want to get angry about it because it does irk me to see not enough offense on a team when you have good enough hitters on this team to manufacture 2 runs or more. You should be able to get 2 or 3 runs a game or better. And granted, every team has a shutdown pitcher. Every team has a number one that basically is going to give you a run for your money. But man, when you get to that 3rd, that 4th, that 5th starter on that team, and you got your 3rd best starter is going to be a Peterson or even a Stroman, you're in good shape. The Mets have 3 solid dogs going in 1, 2, and 3 with Walker, with Stroman, Walker, and DeGrom. And now Peterson's starting to come along. So we got to get it going. Offensively, it's just been pitiful. It's really sad. It's actually very disgusting to see that we're not able to be aggressive when we need to be, not be patient when we need to be, and not have better approaches at the plate, depending on who you are facing. So let's give some props to and a tip-off our hats to Aaron Nola. I mean, I'm glad. Yeah, look, I am always for. I'm a Met fan. I'm a diehard Met fan, but I love baseball. I am a baseball enthusiast. And I look at every game, and I have total respect to all the athletes. And Aaron Nola, give him his props. He pitched a heck of a game. He deserved to win the game after having 10 strikeouts in a row, tying my favorite Met of all time, Tom Terrific, 10 straight strikeouts. And then he basically loses it on a little slash hit, with the ball in the outside corner. And he wasn't even in the strike zone. Pete Alonso pokes it over the right field and gets a double out of it. Granted, I didn't want him to get the record because he was doing it in Flushing, New York, where just about 100 yards away was where Tom Terrific did it in the Shea Stadium building. So I'm just glad that at least he's in good company. Aaron Nola pitched well enough. He got those 10 strikeouts. We just didn't have good approaches in some of those strikeouts. But nonetheless, he was terrific, and he did what he needed to do. His curveball was working for him early on, and he utilized it. As you can see later in the game, he wasn't going to the curveball as much because he was losing some steam in it. It wasn't locating, and it wasn't breaking where it needed to be. There were a few that were kind of flat that we basically just did not get we didn't take good swings on. But overall wise, I mean, you got to give the guy some credit. I mean, heck of a game for him, and then for his team not to hold the lead. And granted, now he not only just pitched well, he basically hit well too. He almost hit a home run. Then in the second at bat, he hits a double and he gets the 1 run in. I mean, wow. What can you do? Aaron Nola, man, heck of a game for you, man. I am sorry to see that you were not able to get the win, but it is what it is. I'm a Met fan. We got the win. I'm happy that we were able to pull that one out late. So, I just wanted to give give you my thoughts on Aaron Nola's performance. Offensively, wow, when we look at offense, again, I already discussed it. I'm disgusted with it. And we're not getting any offense done. I mean, it's not happening. And that's a concern for me. But the only guy that really played well, I mean, Lindor, 2 for 3 in this game with a double. He scored in the game. He also had a run score. And disappointments, man, with O'Neill and Conforto, all 7 at-bats, all for 7, 4 strikeouts. Overall, the team offense, 15 strikeouts, I believe it was, or 15 strikeouts in this game, 14 strikeouts. 14 strikeouts by this offense. It's unacceptable. It really is. It's very unacceptable for us to be able to strike out that many times. Against Aaron Nola, we know Aaron Nola was Philadelphia's top starter for a couple of years. Now they got Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler's been fantastic. So you got Wheeler is pretty much the man there now. But Nola, we know he has the potential to give you these kind of games. And Gary and Keith and them discussed it that his last game he was stampede for 7 or 6 runs or so. He had a really bad game. He's been giving up quite a bit of the long ball. But yesterday he just came in there. He was on fire. And he pitched very, very well. But the offense, man, we got to get it going. It's just bad. We fired the hitting coach. We got another guy in there, and I have not seen any improvement whatsoever in our approaches, in our patiencies. There's been times that we've been patient, and there's times that we have seen good approaches by hitters. But it seems like some of them are clueless sometimes. Like, they're at the plate. They're in the dugout. Are you watching the game? Are you at the batter's box watching what the pitcher's been doing, how he's been attacking the hitters as of late, which pitches he's relying on, what he's locating best with? all that. You got to be so focused in the game. It's just, I don't get it. This is why I consider baseball the hardest game to play, but it's also the best game ever, because you just got to stay totally in tune to the game the entire time. As a player, a hitter, coaches, the same thing. We all have to stay focused because a lot of moving parts can happen very, very quickly in a game. So I can go on and on about the hitting. It is really, really bad. We pulled it out. Lindor, to me, obviously offensive player, having 2 hits out of 3 at-bats. He got one of them being a double. But McNeil and Conforto and the rest of the team, the rest of the lineup, just getting offers and Ks. It was just a bad performance, man. Really a bad performance. So, that's where I stand on that. Defensively, there was nothing major to discuss. But, man, that was, it's not really a whole lot you can discuss other than how ugly it has been with the hitting. And if we can improve on that, man, that'll be great. In Game 2, a little bit different. It's just a shame. We didn't get enough hitting there either. We had more hits in Game 2 than we had in Game 1. So let's go and look over Game 2. In Game 2, Philadelphia had 2 runs on 3 hits. They only had 3 hits, folks. 3 in the entire game. It's just a shame. 3 hits. All right. So they finished with 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 error. The Mets 1 run, 5 hits. We had more hits in this game than we had in the first game, and we weren't able to manufacture at least 2 or more runs to win this game. The losing pitcher was Reed Foley, so he falls to 2-1. David Peterson, what can you say about David Peterson? He is improving with each game. His location, the way he's commanding his pitches, the way he's mixing his pitches, he's pitching well. And slowly but surely, his earned run average that was 1.78 is now down to under 5. He pitched 6 innings today. He had a 1 run on 2 hits, 2 base on balls, 5 Ks, 95 pitches thrown. He threw for almost 70% strikes, and he finishes with a 4.95 earned run average. I think that's a great performance. For 6 innings in a 7-inning game, you can't go wrong. I think David Peterson pitched well enough to win. We just didn't get no runs from him. Plain and simple. His only mistake was a home run to Bryce Harper, and that was a tough ball to hit for Bryce Harper, but he got the bat head up there, hit the ball level, and he's pretty strong. He takes huge hacks when he takes swings. He's not about contact. He's about hard hit contact. So that's what makes Bryce Harper dangerous, but that's what also makes Bryce Harper not the best player in the game, because this guy is pretty much a big swinger and sometimes a free swinger, and that's why he gets a lot of strikeouts as well. So, hey, if he's only going to hit solo shots, and they discussed that, his 11 home runs that he has hit this year, all solo shots. That comes to show you, that how much of a free swinger he is and how easily he is able to be in a position where there's not enough guys in front of him getting on for him to be able to get large RBIs when he hits those home runs. So, but it is what it is. We'll take it. It's just a shame that was the 1 run that Peterson gave up, and that usually 1 run, I can live with a pitcher. Anybody would live with a pitcher who can give you only 1 or 2 runs a game. That's fantastic. So only 1 run by Peterson, and it was the long ball to Bryce Harper. Other than that, Trevor May was solid. 7 pitches, was in and out of there very quickly. Through 7 pitches, got 3 outs, pitched 1 inning. Earned run average down to 3.58. He has looked terrific in 2 straight outings. Reed Foley came in, and he pitched 1 inning. He gave up the 1 run, and his earned run average goes to 4.19. Overall, to 107 total pitches by this team, 73 strikes by the pitching staff. Again, the pitching staff, good enough of a pitching staff again in Game 2 to pull out a victory. We left a lot of runners on base in scoring position, at least 7 or 8. We had the bases loaded one time in the first inning. We had 2nd and 3rd, and we couldn't get a run in. It's just terrible. It's just terrible. And that's the concern. It's just not enough offense, not timely hits with runners in scoring position. And again, one of the reasons why we lost this game 2-1. Offensive players of the game, Pete Alonso, better game, 2 for 4 in this one. Also had a double. Mazika, the rookie kid, comes up again. They call him up and he comes through again. He had 2 hits, 2 singles, 2 for 3. Those were the 4 hits. Out of 5 hits we got, those are the 4 out of the 5. 2 from Pete and 2 from Mazika. That's basically the offense. That was it. McKenny was the only other person to get a hit, and he was pinch hitting. He got a base hit, and he got on base. Other than that, McNeil, Lindor, Smith, Pilar, and Guillermo. Between all 3 of them, all offers. all for 4, all for 4, all for 4. Pilar and Guillermo 0 for 2 each, with McNeil with 1K. Not a great performance again offensively. We need to snap out of it. We really need to snap out of it. Defensive plays in the game, man. I saw some plays that I really did enjoy. Luis Guillorme in the top of the 4th inning. What a heck of a play by Guillorme. It was a rocket hit towards the third base line, and he makes a stabbing play on Andrew McCutchen. Hard hit drive to third base, sets his feet and throws him out at first base. I think that was just an excellent play. In the top of the 5th inning, David Peterson making a play. It was a ball that was hit pretty much on the third base side. He went down, tracked it down. It was a little off balance throw. Nice little strike over to Pete Alonso for the out. David Peterson getting in on the defensive plays of the game. So those are the 2 top plays that I saw that I really enjoy, and I think that they were definitely plays that should have been mentioned here on the show. So as you know, I will try to give you the defensive plays of the game that I really thought really stand out, and I think those 2 were really, really good plays. There was also a blunder. In this game, there was definitely a base running blunder. Pete Alonso got a hit. This was in the bottom of the 4th inning. Alonso gets a hit. He singles to center. Don Smith comes up, hits a ball well to center field, but it drops for a hit. Pete Alonso did not do the proper base running. Proper base running, folks, for those out there, is you run halfway up the line or more, depending on your speed and depending who is the defender that the ball is hit at. Because you're supposed to know those players. You're supposed to know who has the best arms, who's aggressive, who's not aggressive, and so on and so forth. And where they're positioned at when the ball is hit is critical to determine if you should, take even a longer lead or not. So when a ball is hit and you're not sure if it's going to be caught or not, you go halfway up the line and you stay halfway up the line until you see it. But you also be in position to extend yourself by lining up with your pivot foot in a position where you're going to go over to the next bag. In this case, he's going to second base. So he made a big blunder. The ball dropped in front of the center fielder easily by about 5 feet or more. He didn't recognize it. He actually backtracks first before he decides. So just that little hesitation caused them to get caught and be forced out at second base. That is definitely a little league thing. You cannot do that. All right, that's what we call cardinal sin. So cardinal sin in base running is when you know, and especially when the ball is hit in front of you. You're going to hear it if you're involved in baseball, you teach kids or whatever the case might be. If you are a student of the game, you know a ball in front of you, you are able visually to see more or less what's in front of you. So you watch the ball in front of you and you make that decision. Pete Alonso probably felt that he was going to be caught. I don't know what really happened there. But for me, no matter what, a ball hits somewhere and it lands on the ground, even if it more than likely is caught, you should be halfway up the line. And the reason for that is it's going to be a lot easier to get to second base if the guy muffs it or if the ball drops in front of them. Secondly, it gives you more than enough time to be able to go back to first depending on how the ball is caught. Because if the ball is caught with momentum coming forward and they're an aggressive fielder, they may feel, hey, you know what, you're a slow runner. They may just try to throw you out. They may be aggressive in that aspect. But 90% of the time, 95% of the time, it's not going to happen. So they're not going to do that. And especially if they're going to their left or they're going to their left or their right, it's obviously going to be they're going to be in position where they're not going to be able to throw you out. So you have ample time to go halfway, look at the throw, look at the ball. If it lands, you go over to the next base. And if it doesn't, you just retreat back. You got more than enough time to get back to first. So that was a base running blunder. Big mistake by Pete Alonso. Could have cost us. Again, when you have probabilities, you just don't know what would have happened next if he would have been able to extend the play and get to second. You just don't know. We don't know what that ending would. But instead, he ends up getting forced out. We lose an out. We lose a runner in scoring position, and the whole momentum changes. But if we would have gotten on, if he would have been able to get to second base, you never know what would have happened next, because anything could have happened that definitely transpired. Now, it could have been different if he would have been at second base. So, again, it is what it is. But that's the blunder of the game for me as far as Pete Alonso with his miscue on the base pads. Other than that, man, that's basically it. My final thoughts on the two games, man. Hey, it would have been good to walk away with 2 wins. We didn't get it. I'm happy to take the split. But, man, as a Met fan, I am not, and I'm sure I speak to a number of you out there in Mets Nation, that this is not a great offensive team the way they are right now. We need to get these bats to wake up. We thought we were out of it a couple of games ago when we scored 7 runs in a game. inconsistency continues. It's just a lot of mental lapses, not knowing when to swing, not being aggressive when you need to be aggressive. It's just, you gotta be more in tune to what's going on, in my opinion, and that's not what's happening with some of the hitters. We need to improve that, because I'd be honest with you, the pitching has been so good, but at some point or another, the pitching could end up being pretty bad, and then you're gonna need that offense. And if we don't have offense going, man, I don't know what's gonna happen. And also, the other thing is, can the pitching staff sustain this consistency for a whole full season? I have not seen it. And I've been watching baseball since 5-6 years old. There's just no way. I have not seen it in over 45, 46, 47 years or so that I've been watching baseball. I have not seen it. So it's very hard to sustain consistency as far as offensively as well as defensively. And defense starts again with pitching. And then, of course, you got to have those 8 players behind you be able to do what they need to do when that ball is hit to them. But defensive-wise, pitching and defense, our Mets have been solid. We haven't had a whole lot of miscues. We had a few in the last few games, but overall we've been pretty consistent, making good plays defensively, making good choices and good decisions there, as well as the pitching has been fantastic. We need the offense to wake up, and my concerns are, if they don't wake up at some time soon, we're gonna end up being in a position where we're not gonna be able to sustain this winning, winning in the East, when we have teams in our division that are really starting to score some run. The Nationals are starting to get going now. Atlanta, at some point, you would figure offensively and pitching wise, they're going to get better. But we want to sustain. We want to keep this lead that we have. We need the offense to get going. We got McNeil and Conforto back. Hopefully Nemo will be back any day now. And then down the line, hopefully J.D. Davis. But we have to get it going. We have to get it going or not. I don't know if it's going to be sustainable. That's my concern. So let me know your thoughts down below, what you think, man. Again, if we take the split, we got Game 3 tomorrow. We got the Degrominator going on the mound. Let's see if he can go out and tie Tom Seaver's record. And I'll be more than happy as a Met fan to see him break Tom Terrific's 10 strikeouts in a row. I think DeGrom is going to probably be a little pumped up today, seeing what Aaron Nola did today. I think he's going to be a little pumped up tomorrow to go out there and maybe put a nice show for us. So we're in good hands with him going on, pitching tomorrow, and possibly Stroman maybe pitching the following game. So let's go Mets, man. Let's just get this fucking thing going. Let's get to a point where we're starting to score some runs, and hopefully we can continue to lead this division and maybe hopefully expand it. These are critical games here. Again, very critical games, man. We have a number of them coming up against Atlanta. We still got Washington. And we got these two games with Philly. Let's see if we can definitely be able to put ourselves in a position to expand that lead. With that, I'll leave you guys, man. Let's go Mets. Let's go out and get a win tomorrow, and I'll see you in the next video, man. Peace out, everybody.